Scott Garlis at Stansberry Research. We're here at the 2018 Alliance Conference in Las Vegas. I'm here with Dan Ferris, editor of Extreme Value. Dan?
Scott?
How are you, man?
Nice to see you.
Good to see you as well. So a couple of questions. The first one is, what would be your single most important piece of advice for investors?
Single most important piece of advice right now is think long term and be careful. It's an odd moment in history. It's a dangerous moment in history, I believe, for most stock and bond investors. And think long term. Be careful.
What keeps you up at night?
Thinking long term and being careful. What keeps me up at night is simply the fact that the things that I focus on are, I'm focused mostly on the valuation of individual businesses. And I'm trying to make a point that right now the valuation of the entire market is at such an extreme that it's dangerous. So valuation is a poor timing mechanism. So what keeps me up at night is if something terrible is going to happen in the stock market, when does it happen? Because valuation doesn't tell you that. And I frankly have not spent my life looking at all the indicators that people look at when they're trying to determine that. So that keeps me up.
Valuation can't price in tweets?
Valuation, look, valuation covers a lot of stuff. I don't know if it covers tweets or not. I tend to think not.
So it always feels like we're dancing on that razor's edge with some of these tweets that fly around these days.
Yes, I'm on Twitter a bit, and frankly, lately it's just gotten so political with what's happening in Washington, D.C. right now that it's almost become, I feel like the financial Twitter audience is distracted, terribly distracted.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Do you expect a rapid market rally into the end of this bull run?
Historically, that'd be about right, wouldn't it? I'm not one to predict that sort of thing again, but if it happens, if the S&P winds up, 20% higher than where it is now, would that surprise anyone? It would kind of surprise me, but at the same time, we look back at history and we see, what happened in 1929 and what happened in, March of 2000 or just running up to March of 2000. So we know what to expect. We know what happens.
Fair. What do you think why do you think most investors have basically avoided the market in this bull rally?
Well, you're always fighting the last war. That's the mistake everybody makes. They're always fighting the last war. So, for the whole time the market's going up, they're looking back and they see 2008 and 2009. And that's all they're thinking about. And every talking head says, when is this thing going to crash again? And they're worried about price action. They're not worried about all the cheap stuff we've recommended in the past 10 years, just standing there staring at them in the face. And it's just a kind of a classic investor foible. It really is.
And then within value, is there a specific sector you're looking at right now that you think there's really good value?
Yeah, so in general, we're finding all the good deals we're finding, almost all of them, are in kind of beat up, highly cyclical things, dry bulk shipping, the gold mining space, natural resources in general. We got a pipeline company in there, and so we got a chemical company in the works there. So there are all these cyclical things that are looking cheap right now. And otherwise, it's hard to find, a really good business that isn't priced for perfection.
Very fair.
Yeah. It's a dangerous time.
It's very dangerous time. Yeah, because you really are caught between that. I want to invest, but
sure,
I don't want to be the last guy into the market.
Exactly, and it's a classic situation where people see their friends making money and they say, well, maybe I should do something too. And there tends to be the greatest rush. As you said, there's a run up. There's a run up at the last minute when people finally just give up not making money like all their friends. And you can see it in every one of the big speculative episodes. Just human nature. It works against you, and it's good for a lot of things. It's kept us alive, since caveman times, but it's not good for assessing financial risk. Human nature is kind of naturally bad at that. and our behavior goes exactly counter to what we ought to do. That's why I'm giving presentations like the one I just gave. That's why I'm writing things in extreme value like risk happens fast, be very careful. Only buy really good businesses at deep discounts to intrinsic value, and just be careful with every dollar you spend. Hold plenty of cash. Don't be afraid to hold plenty of cash. Don't be afraid to buy a put option or two. I've never said that before. So it's look, I'm sitting here physically wringing my hands as I'm speaking to you. It's a tough time to be an investor.
Yeah, Warren Buffett, be greedy when people are fearful and fearful when people are greedy, right?
Right, and he goes even farther. I included a quote in my presentation there, which essentially amounts to be even more greedy when people are super fearful. Be even more fearful, more pertinent to this moment. Be really fearful when people are this greedy. And we're at the most expensive, overvalued moment in stock market history at this time. Last year was the second most. I was standing here talking about the second most expensive moment in stock market history. This is the most expensive, more expensive than the dot-com peak by the measures that matter. And so you need to be more fearful than all these people are greedy. You know, as greedy as they're being, you need to be that fearful.
Well said.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for your time.
Good to be here.
Thank you. If you're enjoying these videos, don't forget to press that like button. Comment down below, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, please. And remember to click that bell to be sure you don't miss out on our newest updates. Stay tuned for more updates from our Vegas conference.